You've tried getting back into an old draft. You read it, you even thought, hey, this is pretty good. But then nothing. You can't bring yourself to write another word. Here's why. It's not motivation or lack of discipline. The number one hurdle is your mindset. Today, I'll show you why being too attached to your old draft is what's keeping you stuck and how to finally let go so you can actually move forward with your story. Here's the hard truth. You're attached. Attached to the words you've already written, attached to the comfort of those old sentences, attached to the feeling that you already put in the work, so surely it should count for something. But when you're clinging to the past, afraid to change things, afraid that the new stuff won't measure up, you shut yourself off to what your story could grow into. I know because I did this for years. 4 years ago, I wrote 50,000 words during NaNoWriMo. It was exhilarating until it wasn't. I left the draft about halfway done and I figured I'd come back to it later. But fast forward a few years, I tried and I stalled over and over. I had read sections of my old draft and I think, this is pretty solid. This sounds like a good thing, right? But actually, it was a trap because I didn't want to risk messing it up. I didn't want to face the mess of not knowing what was coming next. That attachment kept me safe, but it also kept me frozen. So if you've been rereading your old draft on a loop without writing new words, you're probably having this struggle too. But it doesn't have to keep you stuck. So how do you actually let go and move forward with your story? Well, for me, it happened in 4 stages. You can think of it like loosening your grip on a rope that you've been clinging to for dear life. Just one finger at a time until finally you release and ultimately get back into your story. Step 1 was simply realizing what I was doing. I kept telling myself I was just blocked, but the truth was I wasn't blocked at all. I was terrified. I was gripping my current draft so tightly I could no longer move. Just realizing that and admitting it out loud was a real turning point because suddenly it wasn't some mysterious problem I had to solve. I could finally see it for what it was. Fear of letting go. Step 2 was letting myself grieve. Now, that might sound a bit dramatic, but it's true. It hurt to admit that most of the words I'd already written might not make it into the finished book. I'd spent hours, years really, on those pages, and the idea of tossing big parts of it aside, it crushed me at first. So I let myself just sit in the sadness. I treated it like closure, saying to my old draft, thank you, you got me here. And that grieving process cleared space for something new. Step 3 was shifting my mindset. This is where things started to change. Instead of seeing my old draft as something fragile that I had to protect, I started seeing it as a stepping stone. I reminded myself I am a better writer now than when I wrote those original words. It was 4 years ago, after all. These pages were necessary, but they aren't the finish line. That single shift from clinging to gratitude opened me up to possibility. I didn't have to know the whole thing yet. I just needed to stay curious and trust my story as it revealed itself to me. Step 4 was giving myself permission to play again. This part was key. Instead of forcing myself to rewrite big chunks in order or get serious about my writing again, I jumped in wherever I felt a spark. Sometimes I rewrote a scene wildly differently. Sometimes I wrote a random moment I wasn't sure would actually survive. And guess what? That sense of lightness and play, it finally let me release my grip on that rope that we were talking about before. The more fun I let myself have, the freer the words came. Crazy, right? You'll know you're on the right path because you'll start to feel lighter, less anxious about wrecking your draft, and more at peace. Perhaps even a little excited. That spark is your sign you're honoring what the story can become instead of being trapped by what it was. And if this idea of letting go and shifting your mindset is hitting home, I've actually created a free 5-day email series that dives into this even deeper. Each day we tackle one common limiting belief, things like not having enough time, worrying that you're too slow, or doubting your originality. It's short, it's practical, and it's designed to help you clear away those mental blocks so that reconnecting with your story feels lighter and a whole lot more possible. You'll find the sign up link in the description below. But now that you've tackled the big mindset hurdle of letting go, the next challenge is actually getting words on the page. And this can't happen if you keep procrastinating. I'm talking to myself too. So watch this video next for my 4-step plan to end procrastination and finally start writing again. Hey! Okay. La 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 la. Relax your